Did you know that Latvia has the highest ratio of women to men in all of Europe? Tonight, I'm diving you straight into Riga's nightlife. 3 different venues, 3 different vibes, and a side of this city most people don't even know exists. So guys, I just got back from exploring the beautiful city of Riga for my first time here. So for those of you tuning in for the first time, check out my arrival video. You know, it's been quite fun. The way things were for me. As soon as I got here, it's been an adventure. I got dropped off at the wrong place. Then I had to haul my luggage all the way to this amazing apartment. If you want to see a full view of the apartment, check out the previous video. Anyways, I just got back from my night venture. So I started in this very popular restaurant. You can see the name right here. So this spot, if you watch any videos about Riga, everybody's telling you, go over there, go over there, go over there. It's the place to go, it's the place to go. Even though there's a lot of options, I had to check it out. So that spot, and I know this is a nightlife video, but I want to give you guys, before I went out, this is the rundown of the whole experience. So let's start with this restaurant. No matter what video on Riga that you watch, everybody's gonna say, check out this restaurant right here. That spot is off the chain, off the chain. I was confused, like, what? There's no other restaurant in the city? Why is everybody recommending this particular place? What's going on? As soon as I got there, I realized why. So if you bring your family, if you have little ones or, you know, things like that, nephews, whoever you travel with, you have something for the family, right? So they have playgrounds, they have some animals, they have an amazing water area. It's a beautiful, well manicured area. Everything you can imagine when it comes to food in this country here. All right, anything you wanna think about when it comes to food in Latvia, you're gonna find it there. Whether you're into vegetables or meat, potatoes, whatever, and it's very affordable. So I went there with my friend, and it was a total price of $20. You pick whatever you want, and then they tell you the price. I guess the cashiers know, because they don't weigh it. They just know, like, you know, how things go. I was expecting at least $100 total for 2 people. But no, it was cheap, $20 for 2 people. I mean, we had everything, you know, we could handle at that particular moment. It was amazing, guys. $20 for a meal of 2 people. That's unheard of. Man, I go to Chipotle in DC now, and I eat one sandwich. It's $20. One sandwich. I'm serious. Like, you know, Chipotle used to be maybe $9, $10. Now you're looking at 19 something, like basically $20. It's crazy what's going on. And here you have a tray full of, you know, salads and meats and potatoes and whatever, everything, you know, and it's $10, you know, per person. So I was shocked by that, man. So one general theme that I get from visiting these countries here that are part of the former Soviet Union is how affordable things are, you know? And people here, you know, for them, I mean, I'm speaking here as an American traveling with the US dollars. So it's different, right? It's very different than if you maybe live here. I don't know how many people can actually afford to go to these places, like often, I don't know. Because the average person in Latvia makes 1,000 USD a month. All right. If you ask people how much they make roughly, is typical. They're gonna give you a general estimate per month. They don't speak per year here. You know, so that's the first thing that shocked me. It's like how affordable the food was. But I was skeptical because I don't like touristy places, but you know, most of the people there were locals. After that, we went downstairs and they had a live band, you know, and they were dancing, man. You know, Latvians love their music, man. They love their music. Latvians love the music. So downstairs, you can enjoy live music. Again, I was not out there, you know, at the busy hours, so I'm sure it can get pretty crazy, right? But for what I saw, it was a great vibe. So something for the family, good food, and great ambiance. Now, I have to tell you, this restaurant here is actually a chain. They have different restaurants with the same name around the city of Riga. And apparently, every restaurant has different variety of food. So it's not exactly the same thing, all right? So we talk about the food, that's important. You come to a new country, you wanna know the prices, you wanna know what's going on. So that's that. Then switch over to the nighttime. Driving through Riga felt different. The streets stretched wide, lined with buildings that whispered stories of another time. Grand old facades, weathered Soviet blocks, and quiet avenues that felt almost too empty. There weren't many people around, and it gave me the same lonely feeling I've noticed in so many former Soviet countries. Populations here have been shrinking for years, as people leave searching for better opportunities elsewhere. But Riga still holds on to its beauty. The most expensive part of the city shows it off proudly. Elegant buildings with pastel walls and carved stones that remind you that this was once a hub of culture and pride. And as I looked at it all, I realized this wasn't just a drive through another European capital. This was a glimpse into Latvia's fight to preserve its spirit, even when so much of its people have gone. So after the drive around Riga, the sun began to set and the city slowly shifted. Now it was time to see what the nightlife had to offer. Now I can hear somebody here. Guys, this place, they gave me earplugs. You know what I mean? When I came here, there were earplugs right next to my bed. Let me show you. Before we're talking about this beautiful nightlife. Because this is kind of like the theme. Look at that. You know? And here in Old Town, there are lots of bars, lots of tourists, lots of everything. So the noise level is expected. And the reviews here, the reviews were really good. But it's almost, what time is it? It's 1:35 in the morning. And somebody's like having an argument in the hallway. But it's okay. Let's do this. So, nightlife. I always try to go to 3 different places in order to show you guys the difference. So you can have options depending on where you are financially or what kind of vibe that you're looking for. So in every single one of these bars, except the first one where I had one of the specialty cocktails, I ordered the same drink every time just to see the different prices. The first place is called Saint Black. Now, Saint Black is for the grown and sexy with fine taste. This is where the bougie people come to. They have chairs outside, you know, and right now it's like a little chilly. It's not exactly warm, but you know, you can imagine when it's like super hot, I'm sure like the outdoor is like full. So Riga has different faces, you know. You have the Old Town area that is becoming, and it's actually pretty much touristy now. Many locals do not hang out in Old Town. It's basically inundated with tourists. So all the 3 places that I'm mentioning in this video are all in the city center, all right? So from the city center, if you're gonna be walking, you actually can, or you can take Bolt, all right? Bolt is what they use here in Uber, all right? So Saint Black is a beautiful bar. It's a beautiful, beautiful bar. You have live music that plays at a certain time. But I came in earlier before the music started just to show you guys a little bit of the views of this bar. So this is where the grown and sexy hang out. If you like a nice venue, if you want something sexy, if you want something clean, if you want good service, this is where you come. Another thing you notice very quickly here in Latvia, it seems like going out, you notice quickly, there's a huge disparity between the number of men to women. Huge. I mean, there are easily 5 women for every man. Like literally, like I don't know. I need to check, and maybe when I do this video, I will tell you the ratio here between men and women in the country. In Latvia, women make nearly 56% of the population. It is the highest female ratio in the entire European Union. Going out, you will notice quickly there's way more women than men. All right, so when it comes to diversity, I wouldn't say that, from my observation, and again, these are all part of my first impressions, I wouldn't say that the city is necessarily diverse, all right? But that's not a problem for me. I'm used to being a minority, and I don't think that people staring at me or being like, who's that guy? Look at that guy. And they try to be discreet about it. They try to hide it. They try to hide like they're not surprised to see me in the spot, right? Because there's nobody else. I'm not saying there's no other black people. Understand me. There was no other black person where I went. So starting there, that's the spot. Like, if you just, I love the vibe. So guys on Tinder doing all this, you want to take a girl on a beautiful date in the evening, that's where you do that, all right? That's the spot for you. Great drinks, great vibe. And then they have that live music. It's a beautiful area. Getting there, you're going to notice there's a lot of different areas around. You know what I mean? Like really nice, chic bar, cafes, spots like that. So I just randomly picked these places, you know, so that I can show you guys a different vibe. So this is definitely the spot. So there, one gin and tonic was about $7. Okay, so $6.50, one gin tonic. One gin tonic in the United States right now, if you go to like a bar, depending how fancy you go, it can cost you $15 and up. I would say, you know, and I'm being conservative here, the average price will be $12, $13. The average. Here, you're talking $6, and I'm talking like nice place. So your purchasing power here is definitely strong. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking about visiting here and you coming from a country where you make the dollars or the euro, you're gonna have a great time. They use the euro here. So after that, I went to another venue, and this venue is called Friends. Now, Friends is a place that was recommended to me by a few people. They say that there are, you know, working girls there sometimes. There's different type of vibe going on. I don't know, but I wanted to go check it out. So it's located next to a casino, and it's at the lobby of a hotel. So you know what that kind of environment usually bring. But when I went there though, they were just like regular people, you know, dancing around. This is more for like, you know, I would say the crazy folks, right? So like people were drinking and just dancing. It wasn't really busy, right? And I do these videos, I take my phone because it's less obstructive, like it's less invasive than walking around with a freaking DJI or a GoPro camera in these clubs, because people would be like very uncomfortable. Nobody's filming, nothing, you know, it's just me. So the spot is, you know, I highly recommend if you are into, you know, trying to meet someone or stuff like that. One observation I've made is funny. People always talk about the Russians, right? So like, you know, Georgia, Armenia, you know, Latvia now, where I'm at, you know, all these countries, they were part of the former USSR, the former Soviet Union. So there's like a little bit of a Soviet hangover in the sense that, you know, they are free, but they're still the looming Russian around the corner. So the locals will often tell you, oh, that's where the Russians hang out. That's where, oh, she's probably Russian, or they're probably Russian. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the Russian influx is definitely there. I mean, there's a big exchange between, you know, Russia and those countries. People move for various reasons, family, you know, things like that. So the Soviet Union is no more, but, you know, Russia certainly still is felt in these countries, and the culture is strong and they make themselves known, right? So in this club, there was a corner, a room that was VIP. I couldn't film there, but it was all Russian girls in there. I think like maybe like 45 chicks and maybe like 5 guys, you know, and they were popping bottles, drinking champagne. So man, the place was just like going, it was booming in there. So beautiful lobby, you know, different vibe though from the first place, same black. You know, the service is good. Here, the same gin and tonic was about $5. So you see the difference already, like it dropped in price. The venue is, you know, I'm not gonna say nothing that's nice, but it's just different vibe, you know, depending on what kind of mood you're in. This is a place that will say, you know, check it out, you know, if that's the, you know, that's what you're after, you wanna meet somebody, have a good time on the low. People are dancing here, dancing crazy. They did not play any hip hop or R&B in either of those 3 clubs. Let me also say that before I forget. All right, so my understanding is that there's no hip hop club or Afrobeat club in Riga. Now there's an African bar that I visited, but it was really, really slow. So I didn't film inside. And there was just like a few people sitting drinking, super slow, you know, so I didn't film anything there. But like the bars that the locals go to, my understanding is, and anybody from Riga, Latvia watching this video, correct me if I'm wrong, drop some comments, let the people know. Let the people know if they want some Afro beats where they can get it. Because I certainly couldn't find it. The third and final place I visited is called Sapni. Sapni, man. Sapni. So this place here, the dance floor was definitely like the spot, man. Lots of females dancing. Again, remember what I said earlier in the video. When it comes to the ratio between men and women, you know, I had a couple girls tell me, now you know I'm single here because this is my option. I have to choose between this old guy or that guy. You know what I'm saying? And she's basically saying to me, you know, please tell your friends to move, you know, please tell your friends to move to Latvia because there's no, like, I don't know where the men are, man. I don't know where they are, you know, because you go out to these clubs and it's like, what's going on? All three of them, you know, like there's no guys. So, you know, if you are, you know, a young lady who is employed and financially stable and you want to mate, make a family, have a husband, you know, I would say that the options here, and, you know, I'm sure somebody from Latvia, a guy is gonna get mad at me saying this, but guys, you know, they don't have a lot of options, you know, from what I'm hearing, and at least they're not happy with the only options that they had. It seems like they need a little bit more flavor, you know what I mean? And again, I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone. It's just this is a video that I'm making for anybody who's interested about coming to the country. I'm not saying you're not gonna feel out of place because there aren't many black people here, you know. And the ladies, they complain about the lack of options. So you can see it on the club. You know, this is some of the scenes that I could show you guys. Again, I wasn't like walking around with my camera trying to grab everything, but you can kind of see what's going on. You know, there's way more females. And this is not, you know, just a clip. This is what I noticed all this evening. You know what I mean? And I wasn't filming everything. All the venues I visited is the same thing. You know, unless somebody tells me the guys don't go out or they go somewhere else, I don't know. But talking to the girls in the clubs, this is what I heard. They are not happy with the options. They want more flavor and they want more guys to come and visit. So this country is really, you know, it's not touched. You know, the country is kind of like, you know, it's not a prime destination for a lot of people. When you're talking about going to Europe, this is not a place that, you know, many people are thinking about coming. And then, you know, my brother even asked me, why are you going to Latvia? What is there? You know, and I didn't know what to tell him. It's like, you know, it's Latvia. You know, why not? I mean, I like to go and discover. So I'm happy I came. I'm happy I saw, because, you know, every country is so different. You know, I always want to compare. Oh, it reminds me of this. It reminds me of Prague. It reminds me of Paris. But, you know, like my friend told me earlier today, no, Riga is just Riga. You know, it's different. I have never been to a place where I saw such a stark contrast between the number of men and women. Maybe Colombia sometimes, maybe. But you definitely observe it and notice it very quickly. You know, if you're not afraid to be a minority and you're not afraid to be looked at sometimes, they at least do it discreetly. Because when I went in Kazakhstan, I felt like people just like, who is this guy? Like they were just like staring. And you know, in the United States, when you stare at somebody like that for a long time, they think you're trying to fight. So I was very, very uncomfortable at times. I have to remember, like, man, that's just the way they do it here. But here, they are very polite. The ladies have class. They dress well. They are not loud. They are well-mannered. They are submissive women. This is what they're telling me themselves about themselves. So, guys, I'm not making this up. You know, they tell me they're submissive women and they believe in the traditional ways. They like to work hard, and cooking is part of their culture. You know, that's just the way the Soviet Union was. You know, women are strong here. You know, they're not, you know, expecting, you know, the men to do everything. You know, they're not. You know, the Soviet Union, you know, just that Russian culture is different. They do expect you to make some money, though. You can't come out broke. For anyone who's ever dated a Russian girl, you guys know what I'm talking about. They need a man that can take care of them. They will also take care of you in other ways, but you need to come up with some bread. They're not dating a broke guy, especially if you're a foreigner. They already got broke guys where they live. They're not trying to, you know, have a broke guy visiting. No, you're gonna have to handle business. But the good news is, it's affordable to do so. It's affordable to take a lady out to a drink. So one more thing about those gin and tonic, at this place here, it was about $4. So throughout the evening, the price of the drink was consistently dropping, but the fun was good. You know, I was not there trying to, get messed up. I had to get some of this footage for you guys, and I wanted to record this with my mind all fresh instead of going to sleep. Here I am filming. If you enjoy some of the information provided in this video, please guys, hit that like button, subscribe. This is Ivaintures, man. We're going around the world trying to immerse ourselves in different cultures and see what the world is all about. And you cannot do that by staying in one area. You got to travel, you got to move around. So this is the nightlife in Riga, Latvia. This is a place that really surprised me. It's much, much, much better than I expected. This place is affordable, it's clean, it's great. People look good. It's a beautiful place to visit, and I will certainly be back and try to explore more of the Nordic countries. But anyways, guys, that's the nightlife for the bits I can bring you here so you can have a better idea about what's going on in Riga. Kind of hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Ciao.